Boom, guys. Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Listen, welcome to the Deal Boomers. This is every single Tuesday. This is a new series that I'm going to be doing, guys. I'm going to go live every single Tuesday or pre-record a video and post it every single Tuesday about a deal. And it's going to be a deal case study. So this is where I'm going to be breaking down deals that we're doing, or maybe some of my students are doing, or some of my friends. So I'll invite some guests that will talk about deals they're doing, not necessarily real estate, even people that are buying businesses. But basically every single Tuesday, I'll go live and break down deals for you that we're currently working on. So we're going to show you how did we find it, how are we about to fund it, what is our exit strategy, blah, 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 what list we got it from. And today, guys, that's exactly what we're about to do. So we're going to underwrite a deal in Florida that we just got. We've been working on it for, I think, about maybe 3 months or 4, or maybe a little bit more. I don't know. And we're going to go over this deal and talk about what is our exit strategy on this deal. How did we find it? How did we fund it? How are we going to fund it? We're supposed to close on it on this week. It's funny because after I'm done this live, I have a notary coming to me for another closing. So every single week, guys, I'm going to have dope, deals to underwrite. So we're going to basically do case studies. You guys will get to see and understand how we underwrite deals, how we look at deals and learn from it, blah, blah, blah. And then, so today, guys, we're going to talk about 502 Vaughn Street, Titlesville, Florida. Okay, Vaughn, Vaughn. You can look it up. I don't care. We already have it locked down. We're closing on it. So you can call the seller, do whatever you want in case you want to go behind anybody. We don't care. We have how do you call it, a memorandum filed anyway, but we're closing on it, like we're there, right? So how do we get this deal? This is a pre-foreclosure lead. Pre-foreclosure, if you're new in real estate and have no clue what pre-foreclosures are, typically is when sellers are behind on their bills. Sometimes it's the mortgage, sometimes they're behind on the homeowners association, HOA, sometimes they're behind on their IRS bill. It doesn't matter, but they're behind on their bills. And whoever they owe money to is trying to take the property away from them. So this lead is from a pre-foreclosure lead. Is a pre-foreclosure lead. How did I get the lead? I didn't get it by cold calling or pulling a list. I got this lead through the realtor that was helping the seller list this property on the market. This is, I think, is a 3-2. I'm going to do a screen share. So if you're not on YouTube, make sure you go watch me on YouTube. If you're on IG, click the link in my bio and go watch it on YouTube. I'm going to do a screen share and show you guys this property. This is a property that was on the market. It was listed by a realtor. They were trying to sell it. The seller is behind on payments. Obviously, he's behind on the mortgage, and they were about to lose their property at the auction. How did I get the deal? I got the deal by the real estate agent itself reaching out to me. The real estate agent who's working on this deal reached out to me. How? How did that real estate agent found me? Because I'm actively posting videos that is annoying your feed online. That's how they found me. So I'm always posting. So they DM me because I'm accessible and I have a presence on social media. She DM me. She's like, hey, Mamadou, I have this deal. I'm looking to do something with it. We had it on the market. I'm working with the seller's agent and we couldn't sell it. And then the seller is behind on the mortgage, blah, blah, blah. So the reason they didn't find you and they found me is because you're a punk and you're not posting online. You're sitting there, I don't know you, somebody want to hear from me. Shut up, get to work. So that's how I found the lead. So she reached out to me and she was, okay, so we hopped on the phone. I was like, okay, the seller is behind on payments. Obviously, we're not going to buy this property cash. So I'm going to show you guys the numbers, guys. And so she was like, hey, I see you always talking about this creative finance stuff. I think this is the right lead for it. Maybe you can help, this seller. So hopped on the phone with the seller. And at the time, the seller said, I'm behind $13,000. $13,000, guys. And this is one thing you're going to learn really quick if you're doing pre-foreclosure outreach, whether you're door knocking, right? I have some students that I'm teaching for absolutely free in Atlanta right now, every single Saturday. And some of them are door knocking pre-foreclosures. And I'm telling you, the stories are crazy. So one of the things you're going to notice with pre-foreclosures is typically when the sellers tell you I'm behind $7,000, you always end up finding that they're behind way more, right? So when you open up escrow, you guys do the title work and all that fun stuff, you will notice really fast that the numbers are all over the place. So when I first spoke to the seller, he was supposed to be behind $13,000. It was easy. How much did he owe on the mortgage at the time? $180,000. I actually have here let me see. I'll do a screen share and show you guys the property right here. Boom. If you're not on YouTube, you probably cannot see my screen share, but I'm gonna share and show you guys on YouTube. Boom, right here. Let's see. Vaughn. Okay, boom. This is a single family, guys. 3-bed, 2-bath. Let's see, Vaughn. As you guys can see, it says under contract because we have it under contract. We're closing this week actually. And you can see the property. I think when they took the pictures, the seller was still occupying the property, but now it's vacant. So it's a decent property, right? You can, if I was gonna go and live in this house, the only thing I probably need to do is maybe clean the carpet. I don't need to do much outside of that probably. But you can see there's like 22 pictures online. So it's a 3-bed, 2-bath. Now, Zillow is showing this property like the value of it. The estimate on Zillow, it says 185. But the reason Zillow have it at 185 is because when a real estate agent lists the property on the market at a certain price, Zillow adjusted. So if the property is worth 250 and the real estate agent lists the property on the MLS at 150, Zillow is gonna adjust the property value and put it at like 160, 190. So it doesn't mean that the property is worth 180, 185. This property is actually, if you really comp it, is worth close to like maybe between 240 and 250, right? But the seller owes somewhere between 180 and 184, and we're gonna go over the numbers. So now, when I'm buying a property creative finance, guys, what is creative finance? The reason the real estate agent reached out to me here is because she knew that a cash offer wouldn't work on this property for a cash investor because they would be looking to come in, buy it at a steep discount, and then renovate and put it back on the market. The problem is the seller owed, at the time they thought, maybe close to 170 plus the $13,000, somewhere around there. What happened is when we opened up escrow and did the title work, we ended up finding out the seller owed way more. It was, I think, 68 or 38, but I'm gonna pull the loan statement so you guys can see it also on the screen share. So if you're not on YouTube, make sure you click the link on my bio and go on the YouTube channel, right? So my first strategy was this, guys. When I talked to the seller and I convinced the seller that, hey, we're gonna do a subject to transaction. What subject to is we're gonna take over your underlying loan, so you leave it in your name. We'll take responsibility of the monthly payments. We transfer deed and title. We'll get caught up on that $13,000, and then we're just gonna, our exit strategy, which I'm gonna go over in a minute. We either gonna finance it to a family or do Airbnb or whatever, but obviously that doesn't work in this area, right? Now, this is another thing about real estate. You have to be able to pivot, because I started with a $13,000 behind, ended up finding out after a close of escrow that actually the seller is behind way more than what they thought they were behind on. Why most pre-foreclosure sellers really don't know how much they're behind on typically is because, one, when they receive the letters, the notice of default, the debt collectors are calling them. They don't pick up the calls. They take the mail. They throw it away. They trash it. They don't look at it, right? So typically they just throw out a number. They're really not sure. So they just give you a random number. This is why you got to do the title search, right? So my first thought was, you know what? Right now, because the interest rates are super high, one thing I'm not going to do. So typically, guys, when a seller is behind on their payments and we're buying the property, we can go and call the bank and do what is called a potential loan modification. This is where the bank take the arrears. Let's say the seller is, in this case, was behind $13,000. The lender would take that $13,000 and put it in the back of the loan and give you, on a good market. Right now, interest rates is very close to 7%. So if you do it right now, actually no, over 7%. So if you do it right now, it's really not a good fit on this market. But let's say on a good market where interest rate is like, 4% or less. If you do a loan modification, typically what happens is the monthly payment on that. So basically the lender restructured the loan, right? So now you don't have to write that $13,000 check at the close of escrow. They put in the back of the loan and then they readjust. So you're basically getting a new loan with new terms. On a good market, most of these loan modifications will take your payments down, right? So if you were, let's say the seller was paying like this one right here, I think the seller's monthly payment was $1,200 or so. Typically, that monthly payment will go down to $1,100 on a good market when the interest rates are good. But right now, interest rates are freaking high. So if you go to the bank and say you want to do a loan modification, they actually love it because they can raise the interest rate on you. They can raise the interest rate on you. So they can take your interest rate from 3%, raise it to 7%. If your monthly payment was at $1,500, now your monthly payment goes up to $1,900, $2,000, whatever. So it might kill your deal. So right now, loan modifications are not a good fit. What kind of loan is this? Does this seller have? Is a FHA loan. The loan on this property is a FHA, a first-time home buyer's loan. Why is that important? Because VA loans and conventional loans, there is a solution when you're working on pre-foreclosures and the loan is a FHA loan. There is one solution you can do on FHA loans, which we did on this property, that you cannot do on VA loans and you cannot do on conventional loans. Okay, and this is not like the typical loan modification. So the way we solve this problem, when let me see how much the seller was behind on. Let's see, boom. Let me pull this loan statement up. Give me 1 second, guys. So the seller was behind $38,000, 218.22. So remember, the seller told me he was behind how much? $13,000. We ended up finding out he's behind how much? Okay, he's behind $38,000, which is a big difference. $38,000, 218, obviously, right? So we don't want to write that check at the close of escrow. So what we typically do with this kind of thing is we call the bank and see what solution do we have. On the good market, I will do a loan modification. I just explained what that is. But specifically on FHA loan, there's something else you can do, which is a really great strategy, which is what we did here. It's called a FHA partial claim. It's called the FHA partial, PARTAL. Okay, I know my accent is exotic, so spelling it for you. What is a partial claim? A partial claim is not on the FHA. You cannot do this on VA loans. You cannot do this on conventional loans. Okay, but a partial claim is basically, because this is a loan, is a government-backed loan, right? So HUD is the Housing Urban I forgot what the last development, Housing Urban Development Association, or whatever, however you call it, but they insure this type of loans, right? So what they'll do on a FHA loan specifically, you can ask to do a partial claim where HUD, this $38,000, HUD will take that money and pay off the lender, completely pay off the bank. So the bank is not losing here. They get their money in full. And now what HUD will do is they will take this loan, this $38,000. Now you no longer own it. Let's say it's Wells Fargo, your lender, okay? Now you don't owe this $38,000 and 218. The seller don't owe it to Wells Fargo. They owe it to HUD. Okay, HUD just pay off the bank and the bank is paid and it's done. What HUD will do is they will take this loan now. They will take the $38,000, 218, and they will put it as a second lien on the house, as a second lien. Put it as a second lien. It doesn't mean you don't owe it anymore. You still owe it, but they just put it as a lien. Here's the great thing about a partial claim is you don't have monthly payments on it. 0 monthly payments. You're not making monthly payments to HUD at all. Also, because this market is, the interest rate is like over 7%, when you actually do a partial claim, they don't raise your interest rate up to that point. Typically, they raise it, but really just quite a bit. So like in this one, we started with an underlying loan that had about 5% interest on this FHA loan. But because we did a partial claim, the interest rate, I'll tell you exactly how much it went up on this loan statement right here. The interest rates went up to 6.875%. 6.875%. That's how the interest rate went up. So the monthly payment, my new monthly payment, mind you, I don't have monthly payments on the $38,000. I only have now, my monthly payment is only going to be on the underlying loan, which is $184,000. Okay, and my new monthly payment on this deal, guys, is $13,082.71, and that includes PITI, right? So principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. For those of you who don't know what PITI is, PITI on the mortgage stands for principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So this is your monthly payments that include everything. Now the rent, we already did the comp on this property. Mind you, my first strategy on this property, you gotta pivot. You have to be able to pivot in real estate. My first strategy was to finance it to a family because it's like, it's behind way too much in case we pay it off. If we finance it to a family, which next week I'm going to do an episode and talk about that strategy, it's called the wraparound. I can probably get somebody to give me like a 10 to 12% down payment. So if I spend the $38,000 up front, then I can recoup at least $25,000 to $30,000, right? But because because we did a partial claim and it's a FHA, and so the monthly payment didn't went up that high, the rent rates in this area, guys. Now, mind you, this is Florida, guys. Florida, one of the hottest markets in the US, point blank, period. So I don't want to lose this asset. I want to do a strategy, exit strategy, where I'll be able to keep this for the next 20, 30, 35 years. So my monthly pay, my rent on this, and I looked up on the MLS, closed rental comps is $2,200. One property closed at $2,200 per month, and that property is smaller than mine. The property is smaller than mine. Okay. So if you're working on FHA loans and the seller is behind on the mortgage specifically, typically you want to try to push for, it's better to push for a partial claim. Now, there is a good and downside to it. The good thing is, like I just said, HUD will pay off the lender. Now you owe the money to HUD and you don't have a monthly payment on that arrear. They just put it as a second lien on the house. The downside to it, even if you sell this house 50 years from now, you still owe that $38,000 because you're not making monthly payments on it. So in 30 years from now, I still owe $38,000. It's not going down. It's not going up. It's not going down. It's just sitting there. Silent. We call this a silent second lien. And I'm just making money on the underlying, principal, first principal, right? That's the good side is I don't have monthly payments. The downside is I still owe it 40 years from now if I went to. So the only time you have to pay that lien off to HUD is if you go sell the property. If you're selling it outright, that lien have to be paid off. If you financing the property 30 years from now and you sell financing it or doing a subject to somebody, they can actually buy the property subject to the HUD lien, and you leave it in place and just have them buy it with that lien in place. Not a problem. That can be done. Okay. Why do I love, let me see. Are you taking this over? They're not able to stay if the, yes, Alex, I am taking this over. The seller already vacated this property a long time ago. Another thing you guys are gonna notice on pre-foreclosures, one pattern which was the case here, why is the seller selling, is he went through a divorce, nasty divorce. The couple hate each other, don't want nothing to do with each other. Like, this property is just a chapter in their bad relationship. So they just want to put that chapter behind it. So one pattern you're gonna notice in most pre-foreclosure leads you're gonna work on is either they're in the middle of a divorce, or they're getting out of one, or they're getting into one. It's one of the problems you're gonna notice. So this was a divorce. Yes, we're taking down the property. Yes, we're keeping the property. We did all the negotiations with the bank. Obviously, sellers don't know how to do this in terms of the personal claim. And so we're gonna keep this as a rental. Why are we gonna keep it as a rental? Because the monthly payments came back to where it makes sense to keep it as a rental. Okay. And this is Florida, so I don't want to lose the asset. I want to get the tax benefits. I want to get the write-off benefits. And this is Florida. I know for sure in 5-7 years, this property is going to be worth way more. Okay. So what is the numbers here? Well, there's 2 real estate agents involved in this deal as well, guys. One thing you're going to notice, most real estate agents are really difficult to deal with, but I'm glad to say I did a really great job when I hopped on a Zoom with these 2 real estate agents. I told them, listen to me, I can help this seller. We can buy it creatively by taking over the loan. But guess what? You guys, your commission have to go down, because I'm looking at the money we have to bring to the table to close on this property, clean it, renovate it, then we can rent it out. So my entry fee, this in real estate, we call this the entry fee, right? So the entry fee, there are 7 items to it. You have the cash to seller. You have, if there is a real estate agent, the commission. You have the closing costs, you have the renovations, you have your monthly costs. We call that, holding costs, right? So if you're paying the mortgage until you put in a tenant, and then after you're done, you have to renovate it, right? You have the renovation costs. Then you also have to market it. Even if you're going to rent it, you have to list it somewhere and market it to tenants. So these are all costs. So that's money you're going to have to bring to the table. And on a creative finance deal, what do I care about? Do I really care about equity? I don't. I care about my ability to cash flow. And then I care about how much money I have to bring to the table to get into the deal, and what is my return on that money. So let's say if I bring $100,000 to make the deal happen, how much am I cash flowing, and what is my return on my $100,000. So on most creative finance deals, you want to keep that entry fee as low as possible, because the reality is most creative finance deals, you're going to walk in with no equity or very little equity or even negative equity. But do we really care? No, because what do we care about is our ability to cash flow. We're keeping this for the long term. We're not looking to flip it for a profit. And if you're about to ask the question, yes, you can also wholesale these deals if you don't have a penny in your name. I've wholesaled a bunch of deals creatively, okay? So what is my entry fee on this property, guys? The two real estate agents hopped on a Zoom with them. They were really great. They want to help their client. One of them is representing me because she's the one that DM'd me through social media. She found me on social media. She DM'd me. She brought me the lead. So she's getting paid. And then you have the seller's agent who was helping the agent sell it. I told them, listen, on a typical transaction, if I'm buying it cash, I have no problem giving you guys your 5% or 4%. Not a problem. The problem with this lead right here is, number one, it doesn't work as a cash deal. That's one. Secondly, you weren't able to sell it on the market. Thirdly, they're behind. The seller is about to get foreclosed on, so they're behind. They have bills behind. So we have to get caught up on those bills. That's one. And then cover all the other costs. Make sure you are taken care of, you the agent, right? Pay that, then closing, blah, 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 blah. So I went through that drill, right? So I was like, on a typical transaction, both of you would probably get close to $10,000 or $12,000. That's like $24,000 right out the gate on a traditional transaction. I'm sorry, on a creative finance transaction, I really can't do that. But if you're willing to take a flat fee of $7,000, I think we're paying, $7,000 or $7,500, we're paying both agents. They're splitting that in half. Mind you, before you lose your mind, they weren't able to sell this property on the market. Their only solution is creative. That's what we're bringing. And they're also willing, they're not going to let their client get foreclosed on just because they feel like they deserve a $12,000. That would be really unethical from a real estate agent. And they're still getting paid. It's just the numbers got to make sense. So now we're giving them $7,500. That's what they're going to share. We're going to cover the closing costs, which is going to cost us between, I'm just going to exaggerate the number, $3-4 grand, right? If this was Maryland, guys, the closing cost will cost you $10,000. So each state is different. Maryland is freaking expensive. Now this is Florida. I think we're going to spend like $3,000, maybe $2,500. I don't know. You always have miscellaneous fees too. Don't forget that, guys. When the seller is behind on the mortgage and on the bills, they're always behind on water. They haven't paid taxes for a month. So don't just, you know what I mean? Let me see. So Dana said, I just negotiated a 1% commission on the software. Yeah, exactly. So you have to get them down because they really couldn't sell it. They couldn't do their job. So essentially, if you still want to pay them though, guys, you still want to make sure they get paid, because remember, as a real estate investor, your primary duty is to build relationships. So make sure they're paid. If they get paid, guess what? They're going to bring you more deals. They want to do more business with you. And the unicorn real estate agents that really care about the clients, they will listen to you. They're open to work with you if they really believe that you're the solution for the client. Okay, so $7,500 to them. We're going to cover the closing costs. Then this property, we're probably going to spend $10,000 to $15,000 before we can rent it out, right? We really want to make it look nice so we can charge not high rent, but medium high rent. Let me call it that way. So if the rent in that area, I'm streaming on YouTube, Andre. So if the rent in that area, let me see. Let me share my screen one more time and show you guys something right here. And I'm going to show you guys what the paperwork on how do you call it? On a partial claim look like. The language literally when the lender send it to you once it's approved, and another really great thing, guys, about a partial claim is there is technically no trial period on a partial claim. I'll explain that later on the second episode. But let me show you guys this. Share screen, boom. So Zillow has the rent estimate at $1,990, I think. Let's see. Boom. Let me know on YouTube, guys. Put a comment if you can see my screen so I know. Let's see. What is the rent estimate on Zillow? Guys, I'm waiting for a notary for another closing, so Shuna should ring on my door. I'm bouncing out of here. But are you guys getting value out of this? Anybody getting value out of this? Give me a thumb up. Give me a boom, 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 actually, if you are. Let's see. Where's this? Where's the rent? Where's the rent estimate? Where's the rent estimate? Come on, Zillow. Come on, Mr. Zillow. Come on, Mr. Zillow. Anyway, I don't see it right now, and the reason being because it's listed. So typically Zillow hide that somewhere. The rent estimate, boom, 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 boom. There you go, boom. So the rent estimate here, Zillow says, thank you. The rent estimate here, Zillow says 1,900. Okay, but guys, where do you get your most accurate rental comps? Can anybody put in the chat, put in the comment? Where do you get your most accurate rental comps? You can verify on Zillow and you can verify on Rentalizer, but where do you get your most accurate rental comps that you know this is accurate? Can anybody put in the comments? Let me see. Come on, guys. Come on, man. Come on, I'm giving free value here. Give me some love. And by the way, if you're new to this channel, consider to subscribe, smash that notification bell. Don't be greedy with the algorithm so that you don't miss out. Remember, this I'm gonna keep these episodes going every single Tuesday. We'll be doing real estate case studies and business buying case studies, so you guys can learn how we and I'm gonna tell you guys right now how we're gonna fund this deal as well, so you guys know how we're getting private money. Boom, guys, let me know. No, not Craigslist. Hell no, Andre. Come on, Craigslist. Come on, Andre. Craigslist. What, bro? No. MLS, there you go. Boom. Dylan got it. MLS, your most accurate rental comps will always come from the MLS. So even if you look it up on Zillow and you look it up on PropStream and you look it up on Rentalizer, you want to, if you don't have access to the MLS, thank you, Alex. Yes, exactly. If you don't have access to the MLS, which I don't in Florida, but because I'm a networker, because I add value to people, people want to help me. So I just reach out to these real estate agents working with me. I say, hey, can you send me closed comps on the MLS? And they sent me the closed comps, and some of them closed at 2,200, which they're, boom, there you go, Privy. For me personally, guys, Privy, PropStream, all this crap, I like to verify directly from the MLS from an agent that is licensed, because some of these third-party companies are completely off, right? So I don't trust data from no Privy, I want to verify. I really want to get now. I'm not saying they're wrong. Like they can be super accurate. I'm just saying I like to double fact check it, if that kind of makes sense. So I always check my rental comps on the MLS and get a closed comp. Do not look at the same way when you comp in a property for a cash offer. Do not look at properties that are listed for what they're listed for. That's not a comp. A comp is closed. You want to get it closed. It should say closed. That means they already rented the property. So that's a very accurate comp. So I have comps at 2,200 that are already closed, which are properties that are smaller than mine. So I know for sure my worst case scenario is I can rent this property for $2,000. And my monthly payment is $1,381, baby. So this is Florida. You know I'm keeping it. How are we funding this deal, guys? I'm going to raise probably $38,000. That's going to be the entry fee on this deal. Why? Because 75 to the agents, then closing costs, then the renovation holding costs and acquisition costs. I'm just gonna keep this simple because I'm about to end the live. I'm raising this. One of the people that are coming on my Saturday trainings, they have funds they want to put into. This is another thing. It's like, are you networking with people or are you just sitting there like, I don't know, just sitting there like a dork? Or are you negotiating? I'm not negotiating, networking and adding value to people. So I have people that reach out to me personally on this market, the way I'm structuring deals. I'm not necessarily bringing people just as pure lenders, and here's why. Because the market is bad, interest rates is bad, and if you bring somebody, let's say I go raise this $38,000 at just 10%, that's a lender. Now in 12 months, I have to sit down and figure out, okay, do I refinance? To cash them out, I have to go bring somebody, blah, blah, blah. Interest rates is not going down in the next 4 to 5 years. So that's not what I'm doing. I'm bringing somebody, they're going to bring the $38,000 and they're going to be an equity partner. So they're going to be a part owner of the deal. They're going to be a part owner. So they're going to be on deed and title with me. And then they're going to have cash flow as well. Okay. That's how we're funding this deal. So I have multiple of my students that are coming on my Saturday trainings that have funds that want to be partners on deals. One of them is going to fund this deal at $38,000 and have ownership on the deal. That's how we're getting this deal funded. We do have deals where people are only interest only, but on this market, I'm bringing in equity partners, but I don't do it if I don't like your ass. Sorry, I shouldn't be cussing. They might delete this. But here's why I'm saying that. So number one, this is the best way, by the way, guys. If you have funds laying down 25,000, 35, 38, whatever, this is the best way, and you're new, you haven't done deals yet, it's the best way for you to insert yourself in a deal, be equity partner. Now you can learn where the deal come from. You learn underwriting. You see how we're going to fix it up, deal with the management, blah, blah, and learn hands-on. Listen to me. You have leverage if you have money. Does that make sense? If you don't, then stop being lazy and get to work, because all you have to bring to the table is sweat equity. So the way we're going to fund this deal is that way, guys. We're bringing a private funding partner that's going to fund the $38,000 for as far as us is concerned, outside of negotiating the deal, structuring and all that fun stuff, and knowing what we do, and having, obviously, we're going to be all in, zero money out of pocket, if that makes sense, and give somebody an opportunity to be a partner in this deal. Did anybody get value out of this case study, guys? Give me a boom, boom, boom before I get out of here. So one, I always preach, guys, pre-foreclosures, the best leads you can ever go after, to be honest. When you first start, you want to build a portfolio, especially if you want to get creative finance deals. 90 to 99% of your creative finance deals is going to come from pre-foreclosures. These sellers are behind on bills, so they don't mind leaving the mortgage in place. You take over it and you help them build their credit. Thank you, Top Knot Fishing. Thank you, bro. I don't know if you're a girl or guy. He's not your name, but I appreciate that. So that's one. Go after pre-foreclosures, man. Pre-foreclosures are freaking recession proof. Doesn't matter whether the market is good, bad, they always work. People are always behind on medical bills, HOA, IRS, mortgage. Pre-foreclosures would never go out of style. Never. Good, bad market. So it's a recession proof. So go after it. Secondly, you don't have to use your own money to do the deals. If you network with people, add value to people, I promise you people will hand you their money and do deals with you. Just how it works. So again, every single Tuesday, guys, I'm going to keep this episode coming. Deal Boom Ers. Guys, let me know if you love the name. Deal. You see how I played with the word boom and then Ers? Let me know if you love the name. Let me know if you like the name, guys. So every single Tuesday, either I go live at 12 p.m. or I pre-record it and put it here, but I'm going to do deal underwriting, deals we're working on, deals we already worked on. How did we find it? How did we structure it? How are we exiting on it? How are we funding it? That's the goal. And I'm going to be bringing guests to talk about their deals too, because at some point you get tired of hearing Mr. Boom's voice, right? Janet, why are you laughing? You don't like the name? I said, give me a feedback, guys. Come on. At least two. Alex, do you like the name? Alex, do you like the name Deal Boom Ers, or should I change it? IG, tell me, what do you think about the name before I pass out of here? And if you have any questions or anything that you want me to answer as well, if you put it in the comments, I'll actually answer. I'll make a video and answer your question as well. So I'm about to go. I have a notary coming, and we're about to close on another deal, which is a creative finance tool, and that one I'm going to do a case study on that one too on next Tuesday. And don't forget, every single Thursday also, I'm going to restart my Bold Effect podcast as well. So look out for that. And please, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel, why? Well, I'm just asking why. Why? Don't like my voice? You don't like my exotic accent? You don't like me saying you're a punk and you're lazy? I don't care if you don't. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate you. Let me see. Boom. Sent you. Love it, Alex. I appreciate you, Alex. Appreciate that. All right, guys. I hope you get value out of this. Listen to me. Crush your week is Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday. Yeah, it is Tuesday. It's Tuesday today. The week is early, right? I'm going to leave you with this, right? For all of you out there suffering from lack of motivation, in the morning you have brain fog, you're not really productive. But I found a trick that personally worked for me, guys. Now when I wake up, before I do anything, it's a must. I don't negotiate with myself. 150 push-ups. That's number one. Number two, I avoid foods that make me lazy. So I avoid carbs that gives you that, you want to take a nap. You're so tired, like you can't perform, right? So you guys, you want to learn about yourself, what keeps you going during the day. So for me personally, like I'm a coffee addict, always drinking coffee. But like if I'm in the edge of, I'm a little bit hungry, but not really, like I'm just going. You can feel my energy, right? You can feel my energy, right? So find a trick that makes you productive. Most of you people, the reason you cannot be productive, which happened to me too, is because of sometimes the food that you consume. Maybe instead of making your calls while you're sitting, you should be standing up, whatever, but learn who you are and stop negotiating with yourself. Stop negotiating with yourself, especially if you're a man. I get a lot of consulting calls from men that are just freaking sissies. It's all to do is complain. Me. You know, I'm just working and providing for my family. What? You want flowers because you're providing for your family? It's your fucking duty. All right, guys, stay bold, be bold, and I'll see you when next freaking Tuesday, guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. And see ya. Go be productive. Go be great. Thank you, guys. Peace.